individuals want to be in a relationship and get married for several reasons. However, most times people don't know the reasons God wants them in a relationship. Even worse, some people have given up on relationships or the idea of marriage, and they're beginning to feel that relationships or marriage are unneeded. However, in all truth, relationships have their benefits, and there are a lot of reasons God wants you to be in a relationship with someone. Read below to find out. Number 1. Partnerships and intimacy. Relationship isn't a man-made concept. It's not a social institution that was orchestrated by man. God himself was the one who saw Adam and looked upon him. Then God said that it's not good for man to be alone. This statement indicates that one of the biggest reasons God wants a person to be in a relationship is because he doesn't want them to remain alone. God created man into communion, partnership, and intimacy. He had created Adam and had spent time with Adam. God designed man to fellowship with God. This itself points out that man was never meant to be alone. Then further, God looked upon Adam and felt concerned for him being the only human on earth, and then created someone in Adam's likeness, for Adam to partner with, someone to look upon with love, such that he could say, "Bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." God wants you to date because He wants you to experience the joy of intimacy and partnership that a spouse can bring to you. Relationships that lead to marriage is a concept of love based on the decision, not a love based on feelings. The kind of love provided in a godly relationship is the kind of love that is deeper and more selfless than that in any other relationship. As a couple, God teaches you both to love each other in so many ways that you ought to sacrifice your desires for each other, to put your partner first. This is the kind of love you would be getting if you were in a relationship. While society and movies may have depicted the idea that love is only based on feelings, God's plan isn't like that. God wants you to be in a relationship where your partner chooses to love you. This is God's actual plan for you. He wants to give you a love that is beyond feelings and mood swings. God wants you to be in a relationship so that you can experience a long life commitment, a commitment that will stand by your side through thick and thin. If marriage is God ordained, then relationships are God ordained. God is the one who created the marriage institution between Adam and Eve. Marriage is important in getting happiness and in reaching fulfillment in this present life. Marriage is the commitment that you can be sure of, because your partner can't suddenly call it quits on you. And remember that a relationship must have happened before marriage. God wants you to be married, hence He wants you to be in a godly relationship. Number 2. A better life-driven commitment. Another reason God wants you to be in a relationship is that He knows very well that with the help of someone, you can go farther in life in whatever area you seek to be in. There's a saying that if you want to go very fast, travel alone. But if you want to go far, travel with someone. This is the case of a good relationship when you're with a God-given partner. You would realize that they help you to achieve your dreams more, and they make you a better person in life. You would have someone who would encourage you to do better when you feel like giving up. You would have someone who would always be supporting your life's dream and purpose. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. How many times have people given up on their dreams because of their feelings of loneliness and lack of support? Because there was no one to encourage them to do better. A relationship solves this problem and gives you a platform for you to achieve your life's dreams. Number 3. Security. God created relationships to make a man feel safe. God created the safety of a relationship for people to feel vulnerable and be themselves. In a relationship with a trusted person, you can feel safe and happy. You can let you own and be your true self. A lady in a relationship knows that her man would defend her whenever the need arises. In a relationship, both partners can feel rest assured that they both have each other amid their problems. This was God's plan for man. He never wanted man to be alone. Number 4. So you can be made into a better person. All through our lives, we mostly live for ourselves. While we may have considered the need of others, we most likely never put it before our own needs. But in a relationship, you would learn how to put your flesh down and get your partner's needs done. God builds your character and personality with your spouse. He uses your partner to make you a better person. Your spouse would make you angry. They would offend you, and eventually you would learn to forgive, tolerate, and accommodate them. It is one way or the other that makes you that personality shape into one that reflects God's glory. Number 5. A relationship provides a platform for future marriage, which provides a platform for sex and reproduction. If you are in a relationship to get married, then God wants you to be in a relationship so that you can marry and then enjoy sex and have children. God has prohibited sex before marriage. However, in a marriage, sex is God's will. Abstaining from sex till marriage helps you to fully know your partner, and eventually when you both marry, you can then enjoy God's providence. God has commanded us as humans to be fruitful and multiply. For this to happen, you would have to date, then marry, then have sex, then have children. A relationship, therefore, is a platform for future marriage, which provides an opportunity for people to marry and raise children. Marriage is an opportunity for God's people to increase on the earth. He increases us in number by giving us children who we will raise in godly ways. A marriage happens after a relationship, and God only wants children in marriage. Therefore, God seeks for you to marry so you can increase His legacy on earth. Sexual intimacy between married couples increases love between them, and it's the power through which people can multiply and subdue the earth. People who get married first have a relationship. It's through this relationship that marriage occurs, then sexual intimacy that leads to children being a part of the family unit. Number 6. It helps you to seek God more. When you're in a relationship, no matter how loving your partner is, you would realize that they can't fulfill your heart's desires to make you feel complete. Your partner can never meet all your longings, expectations, or desires, and because of this, your attention is brought back to God, who can meet all you need. A relationship is to bring you joy and a sense of completeness, but eventually, you would still feel some incompleteness and unfulfilled expectations, and this is God's way of calling you to draw in closer to Him so that He can complete you now. He will refine you and strengthen your weaknesses. Number 7. A relationship strengthens your fellowship with God. If your partner is a believer, like you are, which ought to be the norm, then you have someone you can worship God with. You have someone who can make you draw closer to God in service. Being with a godly partner provides you with opportunities to grow in your journey with God. If your partner has the fruits of the Spirit and is committed to God in their service, then you both would have opportunities to be serving God together. The relationship would provide you an opportunity to become more spiritually mature. The person would draw you closer to a fellowship and service towards God and cause you to pursue Christ. Their lifestyles and morals would push you to Christ. A godly relationship reflects God's will. When you both are in a godly relationship, you reflect God's will. God created marriage, which ought to be the reason for a relationship, for His purpose. The love between Christ and His church ought to be the love between a couple that realizes they are glorifying God. God wants you to be in a relationship. He doesn't want you to remain single. He wants you to have a life partner who will continually show you love and care. Someone who would stand by you so you both can achieve your dreams. Someone who helps you to serve God even better and fellowship with God more intimately.